am the life coach.
Hold on. Let me put my light on. The light.
Yeah.
There
So
we
what? So what?
go.
So yeah, that's not better, man. So wait, so what? So you were singing and you just forgot lyrics, yeah? What do you do? To start dancing, start doing running, man.
No.
You tell
So
you tell
what
a
I did
joke.
was
You tell a
no.
joke.
So what I did was no, I didn't take a joke. No, no. So what it was like I had the lyrics right in my head, and I hadn't finalized them in my head. So every time I start a song, every time I start the song, I change maybe a few bits and pieces of it to see how it flows and whatever. And I sometimes I wait for like the chords to come on, the first chords to come on. And I
Right.
remember like, okay, this is what I wanted and singing it in my head. But it's sometimes where I've blatantly forgot the opening line. I'm like, so I sort of plan to go around again. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of, oh, okay, that's it. I wish I could take it back. And I'm like, all right, now I know what it is. Jeez,
Okay.
man.
See,
Like
but
it's
but that in those moments, do the audience know you done that, or do you play it off? Because you seem quite
play it
good at
off,
that. Play
man.
it off.
Play it off, man.
You
Play it
play,
off.
yeah, happy, yeah. As
We
long as you
ain't
don't show your
nowhere letting
face.
nobody know none of that things there, man. We ain't
Because
doing none of that.
yeah, because actually, because I can't remember. I think it might be Justin Timberlake. He said at one time that he doesn't perform it, and he knows that he done 1,000 mistakes in his film, but no one ever knows that it's only you. Like because you, like I said, because that's where only you. That's what I think. That's what I said before. Stand up will be a little bit difficult because stand up, like if you make a joke, it doesn't go funny, and everyone knows it's not funny, and you're feeling it. You know it's funny. You can feel it. Whereas song, you can hide behind the music. You can do a little jig or whatever. You can start again because music. Because stand comedy, you can't say, "Oh, let me try to joke again." It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It
The
doesn't
second
work,
time
doesn't
around,
work,
does
doesn't
it?
work, doesn't
Yeah,
work. It's
yeah.
done.
But
Yeah.
with music, you can do because you can do a little room and say, "Oh yeah, actually, you know what? Let's try a little something. Just why you remember the lyrics. I mean, let's try a little something. Tell me, you people, you good? Yeah, you good? Yeah, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So.
yeah. Yeah. But I've been on I was in this play called The Queen Must Die.
Yeah.
And I blatantly I had to play two roles. So one night I would play one role, one player, I'd play the role that is next to me. So we're to and
Okay.
froing, right? And so obviously when I first learned my lines, I learnt them the main bulk of the main character's lines. I learnt his lines, got that down, whatever. And then I don't know what it was. I don't know if they wanted to see whether if I could learn the other person's lines, or they wanted to see how it would work. She goes, you need to learn Mad Mike's lines. I'm like, but why do I need to learn Mad Mike's lines? I know my lines. She goes, no, I just want to see it. All right, cool. So I tried to do this thing now. So I'm doing my thing. And I kid you, just like we say with the stand-up comedy, literally I was like, I must have started and I was doing this thing and my mind went blank. And I was like this. And me
Wow.
and the guys on stage, it's just me and the guy on stage and there's no one else. So you can't even say like, where's your line, whatever. It's just like me and the guys on stage. And I remember just looking at him and just started laughing. Because there's nothing I could do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we said the same line again, said it back again, and then we started again. And then we went from there. But flipping hell. It must have been only 10 seconds, but it felt like 2 minutes. It was like
yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine.
so mad and scary. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. But I miss performing though. I miss performing in all its mediums. I do miss acting, getting a meaty character and really, do you know what I mean, to and fro with somebody and putting it across. I think that's one of the
Wait,
most greatest things.
is that something that you think you want to get back into later?
Yeah, possibly, man. Possibly. I'd love to write. I'd love to write a piece, like, a piece of drama, a director, or even direct a piece of drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to. I think I need to get back into it. I need to. Even today, I was sitting here at the same computer thinking, I want to make music again. I want to get back into making music. Do
Yeah,
you know what I
because
mean?
I think that I mean that's you, isn't it? You I was talking to someone the other day and I said in life there's three types of people and we all fall into three different categories, right? So you're ABCs, right? I got a poem about ABCs actually, but so you have your A, yeah, your A people, they're the academics, yeah. So people who they go to university for doctors, your lawyers, your accountants, the big boy people there, the people they bring home to mom and dad, those kind of people, yeah. So people, no people like me. And then you got your B, yeah, your B, they're your builders, your contractors, your laborers, people who do things good with their hands, the engineers, electricians, the plumbers, those kind of jobs. They're kind of like, you're not necessarily be intelligent, but they make the world go round. They make the world go round, simple as that. And you got people like us. What you see, we're creative people. So we're not academics. We're not gonna build anything, but we can create their stories of mind. We write stories. You know, we do sculpture, we do painting, we do art, that kind of stuff. You know, and it's just where we fall into. So you know, like I said, creative mindset. So our mindset was like, you know, give us a blank paper and we'll create a cool picture. Do you know what I mean? You know, you know what I mean? That's so sometimes when you and something, you know, you have certain jobs where we're kind of like, yes, now we're an academic kind of job now. We're helping other people to get to where they need to get to, right? But part of that is being creative mindset, isn't it? You're just creatively trying to think, okay, what can we do? What, you know, and then our personality with the acting and talking to people and your character, how you portray, you know, I find I like it when I have face to face with my clients. That's when my counseling hat comes on in the sense, you know, just listening skills, you know, and trying to help people get from point A to B, having an empathy skill, which you've got and I've got, right? So it's just like that. So you take those kind of attributes that we've learned from Hammersmith days to jobs that we do now. So it makes sense that you still have that, because that's in you. That's they say that if you can find something that you love and passion and you get energy paid for it, then that's what you're meant to do, right? So I mean, it's just the money side of things. I mean, you know, to do that. But yeah, definitely, if you can get to that, because like I said to you, I was writing a play, which I've done. I still need to work on that, and yeah, I've had some more other ideas after that, actually. You know what I mean? So it's just interesting that, you know, you have this podcast and, you know, wanting to get back. I too want to get back to the field of like creating writing style. Not so much acting point of view, because I like more behind the camera stuff. That I love stories. You know what I mean? That's why I think. Whereas you're more against that. Okay, if I give story to you, you bring it to life, kind of thing, with directing or acting. And it's just interesting.
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a bit of both. It's definitely a bit of both. I like directing. I like directing, like seeing something and creating it and seeing it come to life. Do you know what I mean? But I do also like the buzz of, you know, bringing
acting.
The acting of it. Yeah. What is the most meatiest character you've played? Or what kind of character do you like to play?
Yeah, great question. I think after I went Hammersmith, where did you go after Hammersmith? What college did you go to? Did you go college or did you just go job after?
No, what did I do? I think I worked and then I went to,
because you was in the band for a few years with Jeff in them, though, innit? When the dark was dark
side. Yeah. We were doing that for a little while, and we did that until I think it was about 25 or something like that, 24, 25.
Wow, okay.
We got published to do with Universal Music, and I think when you saw me again when I was doing my band was way after that. I think it was about my 30s, but then
I think Funk Odyssey, right?
Yeah, no, organically funked.
Okay.
Funk Odyssey is a good name. Put it out there, one like that. But no, you know, I did popular music. That's what I did. When I left college, I did popular music.
Oh, okay.
And it was like a year course. It was like a performing arts popular music BTEC.
Where?
I did it in Wandsworth. South Thames College.
Okay, South, yeah,
yeah. So that was wicked. It was wicked.
After Hammersmith, I went to Amsterdam Wickham College.
Yeah, you did.
For 2 years, I did a music stroke theatre course. Yeah, so singing, stage and stuff. Yeah, and after that, I did a 1 year top up. So I've got a degree in performing arts degree. You're right. And then I went to a 1 year at University of Hertfordshire. My hardest role I think I ever played. I played a I played a gay guy, and he came up. He was coming out to his mum. That's a very tough role. I think at one point the age I was into, like, gays. What's that about? You know what I mean? So I think that's a very hard role to play. I think as an actor, what should be hard was something that, you know, the opposite of who you are. If that makes sense. I mean, opposite of your character. You know what I mean? Like if you were to play like, I don't know, some kind of psychopath. You know what I mean? But your kind of guy is just like, you're just so far from who you are. Those are the roles that should really be draining something out of you. Take you to your depth, really. You know what I mean? So I like that kind of role. I did do one role in Hammersmith, actually, where I played some guy like he was in the army, and I put like American accent. I quite like that because like that was the full meter character. Because one was like he didn't want to be in a war, people killing it, people dying around him, whatever. And this woman come report in the middle of a war scene, and she wants to talk, ask me questions. You know what I mean? I was like, Yo, don't ask me no goddamn questions, man. This is war zone, man. This is war zone. Don't ask me no questions. I'll shoot you right now. You know what I'm saying? So all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of like, there's sometimes we can do roles where, yeah, you can like really bring a character off the page, right? So that's what's really interesting. I mean, so yeah. So for me, what about you? What's the hardest role you played?
Oh, that's what I played. So yeah, before I even left Hammersmith, I did an audition piece for, like, you have to do audition piece for UCAS.
Okay.
And it was for, like, if you were going to go to university or whatever.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I did my piece. I chose similar to you, I chose a gay guy to do. And again, being young, being immature, I did it in front of my tutor there, Siobhan, and I
Okay.
played it straight. Like, how I would normally play my roles, commanding, straight, I'm in the character, whatever. And then when it came to actual day, the thing is, you know how it is when you performing something, or you're building it. There's always a point where you've reached the peak of what it is. Yeah. So you have to sort of like, for me anyway, I don't know if it's for anybody else, but I have to sort of like not hit the peak too early. Otherwise, I find it hard to not necessarily keep the peak, but I find it hard to give that extra energy, especially when I was younger anyway, not so much now. But when I was young, I found it hard. I found I need to just work my way slowly and get whatever. So what happened? I had too much time with this role and thinking about it. And thinking about, oh, he's gay. What are people going to think of me playing a gay person? And I was in my own head about it, right? So then when I came to doing the actual piece itself on the audition day, of, it was like a test to see how good our pieces were. I ended up playing him camp and really hamming it up. And I remember the look on my tutor's face, Siobhan's face. She was so disappointed. And she was like, I don't know why you did that. Like, you had it there. You basically had it. Why did you do that? And it wasn't necessarily the thing that I felt the role was hard in itself. I think it was mentally at the time was hard because I was so immature to really put it off in what it's supposed to be. And all the piece was about, the guy could actually have been straight. Looking back now, even afterwards, the guy could actually have been straight.
It's funny.
You would never have known.
It's funny because the famous playwright Stanislavski said something along the lines of, what the actor feels is important. What he feels about the part is not, right? And
yeah,
I think sometimes, you were too much. Then you maybe, like I said, it's immature. It's not immaturity, but you just wasn't mature. Let's say that. So they're not being mature enough to do roles. Like, you think about what are people going to think about the role, which one about that. Because when you're acting, you never should be acting a part. You are that character, right? So
yeah,
if you're the character, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks, because you're not you know, you're the character. You know what I mean? But we at the time, like, oh yeah, what people going to think about this kind of role? And I get it because you're young, you're black, you're not gay, you think you're playing a character. And even if you are gay and you're playing a straight guy, how does he feel about?
Yeah, how does he talk about? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sometimes,
and also what was in my mind as well. Sorry to cut you, but there was also Denzel Washington he had a thing in his contract where he doesn't do any gay roles at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, we discussed it a lot of the time. Well, what would we do, whatever? And I think that's what kind of really thought about, oh my God, I'm a black guy about to go into the world of acting, and how these people gonna see me? Do you know what I mean? How are they gonna see me being this person? Are they gonna end up putting me in roles that I don't want to play? And I felt like, almost like I was taking a stand by like playing him so camp that I didn't want. I don't know. Maybe I was sending it up on purpose. I don't even know. But there was just a lot of, thoughts in my head about it. I was thinking too hard about it.
So how would you feel about the role now? If you had to play a role now, would you play him as a character intended, or would you play a gay role now? And how would you?
I would have played it as a character intended. I would have definitely played him like almost straight, because he wasn't saying anything that made him gay.
Sure, yeah, I get you. Yeah,
and I think
my character too. There's nothing about that. It's just that I just had to come and tell my mom. I said something along the lines of, "Oh, mom, what was my?" It's something along the lines, "Oh, mom, I'm gay. I'm still human. I'm still your son." Stuff like that. I didn't say like that, but that's what I think. The line something like that. It's just like that. I mean, something even just a word to saying that, I'm playing gay guy, but there's nothing in it that you're doing anything that shows you're gay. You're just saying the role that you're gay. I mean, it's like, what's the big deal now? What's the big deal? Right?
Yeah. And after the time, I was thinking, but there's like, it's like when I saw her face and when she said to me, Siobhan was quite serious. She kind of just said like, you let me down almost. And I was like, oh, I felt so bad. And when I went home just on the tube, going home, from Hammersmith to like Clapham, like I'm like, man, like I could have. There was nothing in there that I needed to really express.
It's
But
mad
in my
because
mind, I was like, it was like I wanted. It's like it's weird because I wanted to. I playing the gay role. I wanted everybody to know he's gay, and I thought if I play him straight, how's anybody gonna know he's gay? Because I'm fine. Yeah, because I'm thinking I'm stressing myself out. I'm putting myself out there to do this gay role. You need to know that he's gay, man. You need to know, man. Do you know what I mean? And that's probably why I played him like that, man. Because I thought that no one else isn't gonna do it. Like no one's doing a gay role. I'm like, I should get something extra for this.
You know what? It's crazy. It's crazy because that's the moment that and that's just maybe us as people, maybe like as human beings, that we say, oh yeah, I couldn't do that, couldn't do that thing. It's funny because as an actor, you never really think you shouldn't really think that deep about a character. You just like what you think about. Can I portray what director wants? Can I take that character and make that character alive? I mean, if that character is gay, they're gay. If they're serial killer, they're serial killer. Whatever they are, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's a story you're telling, right? I mean, it's not you, your life. I mean, So, and that's what, that's a different thing. But yeah, that whole what's the thing? But like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you? Like, seriously, it's like you can't play gay characters. Like, okay, right, all right. You're a good actor, but I mean, just get over yourself a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, looking back though, we don't know whether, because remember he was heavily into religion. We still is, obviously. He was into religion, so I don't know whether that played a part in it at the time. I don't know whether it was because it's not as accepted as it is now. Then, you know what I mean?
Well, the funny thing that he said he doesn't play gay guy, but also he doesn't kiss. He doesn't do any rude with white women either. So it's like, so he doesn't mind being in a film where he's kissed up a black woman so his wife can see, but not a white woman. Like, you still kissed up a woman, bro. So what's the difference? I mean, but anyway, whatever. But yeah,
whatever he likes.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, someone's still signing his $20 million checks in it. So it is what
exactly.
It is, so.
Can't be that bad. You know what I mean? Still making mental 60-odd man still making movies. Oh my gosh, man. But I wanted to talk to you as well. So obviously we're gonna just a general conversation today because rather than getting too deep. But I want to talk to you as well about the transition that you had of becoming a dad, becoming a father. And particularly I wanted to do with you and Kadeem at the same time. I wanted to really ask you about that transition. So, I don't have any kids, but I've looked after 10,000 million one kids. I feel like I have loads of kids around the world. Not like that, but people, right? But when you became a father, how old were you when you became a father, by the way, when you had your first kid?
Yeah, great question. Jaden's 19 now, so I would have been 26, something like that.
So you were 26. What was your life like at 26?
Good question.
Taking you back.
I know, right? Well, it's funny because at the time, Nami and I were not together no more, but Nami and I were together then, right? So everything like at 26, by the time, but when Nami and I got together, and then like with the space of a year, we had Jaden, and we had moved in together, had Jaden, and got married. You know what I mean? So everything was quick. So my 20 from 25 to about 30, just I can't remember anything. If I'm honest with you, it's all blurred. It's like parenthood, househood, husbandhood. Do you know what I mean? All rolled in one. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't really maybe traditional in that sense because everything seemed really quick. If I'm honest, but at the same time, I wasn't much of a wild guy because I remember moving out. Ironically, from my mum's place where I am now. Ironically enough, I moved out when I was 23, maybe 22, 23. And like, oh yeah. I remember at the time I moved out. I was like, everyone, oh yeah. I texted everyone like, oh yeah, I moved out now. I'm big man. I moved out really. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I moved out, and then
So what was it like? So was it like leading up to the 9 months? So you found out your lady's pregnant and leading up to the 9 months. What's that like? Tell me.
Yeah, for me, I was excited. I was gonna be a dad. I was excited. I was very excited. I remember buying books like what parenting looks like, what the woman's body goes through, what she's gonna go through at the time. We went to antenatal classes together. Can you imagine all that stuff? Yeah, I mean. So hopefully the usual getting baby clothes, but just prepare myself for it. Just prepare myself. Like I said before that, I wasn't someone who's always going out with guys anyway. So I think from the time that now I'm not together, that kind of stopped, and in a weird way, I kind of just stopped. And I mean, I like it's almost like I settled down, which you should do when you get together, hopefully. But I kind of feel like I lost all of that. I mean, I lost my friends, not lost friends, but we weren't in contact much. I mean, so I kind of felt a little bit by myself in that case. Does that make sense? But I was very much prepared for it. I prepared myself to be a father, right? So, and I don't know how it is for other people, but when you haven't had a male figure or father figure around, you know, you can. One of the things you can be scared like what I'm gonna do, but I was excited about it. I mean, it gives me opportunity to do that, right? I mean, so and you know, it's a blessing, right? You know, for those of us who are able to have children. So I was very excited, pretty much. You know, I was very excited. Even with all our kids, you know, I think when it comes down to pregnancy, I think I liked it more than she did. Honestly, I felt like I pregnant than she was. I mean, for example, women would have to go through all of the 9 months and stuff in it. But as a man and as a parent, and someone looking forward to being a parent, I really loved it. And I knew Jenny was gonna be a boy anyway. I just had that feeling anyway. So
Yeah. So what was your? So you knew you having a boy. What was your MO? What was your mission objective when you becoming a dad? What what kind of things did you kind of
it's funny
dad did you
because
want to be?
it's quite funny because hopefully just know that okay, I just knew that okay, it's gonna be new. I had no example of what a father could be or a dad could be or a parent or you know a significant other, you know, so everything I was learning on the go. But I said to myself that I just want to make sure that I'm present and you know I am that I give my best so that you know the protection, the love for my child is as best as it can be, as it should. I mean, not single like you know, oh, you know, I'm only gonna get myself stressed about it. I remember with Jaden because of the first born. I remember like for the first year, I didn't sleep for about a year. You know what I mean? 'Cause when you have a first child, right? And every parent said this. When you have the first child, you're just nervous, isn't it? Like sleeping, are they breathing? Are they moving? Whatever. So I just remember, I'll be like this, you know, like what's the one night? And now I've got some 19-year-old, 6 foot, 12 stone, 6 pack abs, everything. I mean, walking around. I mean, looking like Anthony Joshua. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, plenty like how you
So
used to be. Yeah.
So, I mean, so it's mad.
But
It's mad. Yeah.
naturally ripped. So
So
how do you do it?
yeah. It's like it's like so sometimes like it's amazing. You know, it's just you do have that. I remember the first moment, like they put Jed in my arm, and I thought, raw. That's it. Like I'm responsible for him now. Do you know what I mean? You know them ones.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. You know.
It's reality
So
when it comes to reality.
yeah. Literally, yeah. Because finding out you're pregnant, seeing a bump, you know, feeling the first kick and all that stuff, and then you know going to contraction, and then Jenny's birth was quite difficult for the mum as well. Like almost looked both of them actually.
Wow.
But yeah, so she ended up having a C-section. But so when they put you in the arms, like right, this is it. Like from this moment on, like every decision I make, he's got to be involved now. Do you know what I mean? He's got to be by him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like but that's not like an easy concept to grasp. Like,
bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. Because you said that it's funny because you said that you don't have kids, but you feel like you teach kids, look after kids. Yeah, and that moment, they're your responsibility. You have like 200 running around, didn't it? So imagine. So I mean, so but yeah, there's something about being responsible for that for another human being. You know what I mean? As well as making sure your mum's okay. You know what I mean? As well as that, you know what I mean? As well as make sure you're okay as well. So now it's like me. I've got added responsibilities. You know what I mean? I got to take care of myself. I've got to make sure my mum's okay and to make sure my son's okay. Do you understand? So you know, and sometimes people don't really grasp that. You know, women think, oh, you know, women are nurturing. Yes, women are nurturing all that stuff, but you know, in the day and age that we live in, it's the men who have to go out and work and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They do all of that, you know, and they still come on, be a parent, still be a husband, and do all of that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was a exciting time, but
so what was
definitely
it?
I kind of nervous as well.
So what was it? Because you guys said about looking after yourself. Mentally, how did you look after yourself? Did you just like, well, this is what I need to do. I'm gonna do what I need to do, or was it like, what was it like? I'm trying to really jump into your thought process, man.
It's one of those where you know what, when they say just roll up your sleeves and get on with it. And like I said, I didn't have no blueprint of parenting. You know what I mean? Of course, my relationship with mum. Obviously, I lived with my mum for many, many years, but before that, I wasn't with my mum. That's a conversation for another podcast. But you know, so you learn it. So you learn it to just be a parent first and foremost. Don't be a parent. Then you learn to be. And remember, Nam and I, we had Jaden. We were yet married, so we'd get to know each other. Do you know what I mean? You know, so we don't get married. I think when Nam and I got married, Jaden was 7 months. 7 months, I think, 7 months. So we were learning. So I'm learning then to be a parent, to be a father, and to be a husband. A lot of things going on. Do you know what I mean? So mentally, I had to just like kind of deal with all of that at the same time, you know, as well as trying to build myself up as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do I do? How do I make this person happy? How do I make sure he's okay? How do I make sure I'm okay? You know, but should I make sure I'm okay, or she should be okay first? I mean, so it's so I take care of the son more, or take care of the wife more. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things going on there, and then sometimes women that you kind of self neglect, you don't mentally don't take care of yourself as well. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot, you know, and you want to just be the best you can be. You know what I mean? Where trying to do your share, like look after the child, but also provide as well. Do you know what I mean? But also be a husband as well. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Is there any point where you put lots of pressure on yourself, or is it just you just kind of just going through it, or what?
Yeah. I think as a parent, there's always pressure. Period. There's always pressure, right? It gets better, especially when they get older, because then when they start to make their own decisions, when they start talking, you know, and they think they know the whole world, but the get stage there's pressure because you have everything. That's everything you decision you make. It's all for them, right? So, I mean, you know, going to bed, eating, clothes, changing, whatever. That's all down to you, right? I mean, and then how you bring them up, the morals, the values, you know, discipline. Should you discipline them to do something wrong? Who's going to do it? The mom or the dad? Should you both do it? Should you not do it? Should you let them figure it out? So you're trying to do all that. Pressure you as well, because you want to lead them the right way. You don't want your children to fear you, but not to be scared of you. Fearing someone and be scared of two different things, right? So you want to put yourself in a place where you know you can be able to make the right decisions as best as you can multiple times, but still being a good spouse as well. Do you understand? So yeah, it is constant pressure, and yeah, I probably put my pressure on myself because also remember, you don't have anything to go by. You know what I mean? So you know you don't know whether you're being not strict or too strict enough. Am I not saying enough? You know, and sometimes you look back now and think, yeah, maybe I could have done differently, whatever. But you know, we don't have the beauty of hindsight. Like you can't, we can never go back and change things, can we? So,
well, this is what brings me to my next question. Because if there were 3 things that you would do differently, what would they be? In terms of, and we're just talking about becoming a father, not necessarily. We're not going ahead. We're just keeping it that juncture.
I would say maybe really, maybe prepare for it more. Maybe financially, you know, maybe just make sure that I think maybe if I could talk to myself and say, okay, you're gonna be a father soon, what are you gonna do? Just make sure that I've got maybe financially just have things more. I mean, hopefully I'm working time, but I think sometimes we never underestimate the power of really being financially stable and just being really content when you're gonna have children and stuff, you know, like where you living. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, is it big enough? Do you have all the tools you need? Is everything ready? That kind of thing. You know what I mean? Just like, really prepare. I think second of all, the foundation of the relationship the person with it needs to be a good foundation. You know? We hear a lot of stories where people have children, right? And then they're not together, you know, they just got together, had a child, but their unity is not good. You know what I mean? Sometimes it'd be great. In the ideal world, look, we want to live in the ideal world, but we don't live in the ideal world. We live in the world, right? So, so I think maybe that foundation needs to be solid or as solid as it can be, you know, and you're not eventually you're not just covering up the cracks, because unfortunately we just, you know, like I said, that's a conversation for another day, but we're kind of like we're covering the cracks of a relationship, you know what I mean, rather than, okay, you know what, there's a big crack, let's sort this crack out, you know what I mean, rather than what I'll do is put wallpaper over it and cover it, you know what I mean, you know. So but hey, that's we live and learn, right? And the third thing I'll say is like, have fun, enjoy life, have fun, enjoy life. You know what I mean? As you go and as you think, which I think we did, well, I did certainly, but I think more so. You know what I mean? If anyone hears this one, then yeah, like enjoy the time when you know you're gonna be a parent. You know what I mean? Enjoy that time, enjoy the moment, enjoy those little moments because they go quickly. You know what I mean? When the child's gone, I said, talking about Jaden, he's 19 now. Right? If you tell me when 19 years went, I can tell you 19 years just gone. You know what I mean? So just enjoy the moment, all the ups and downs they have with it, you know. But yeah, make sure you have the foundation needs to be good between you and the significant other. Yeah, and then you yourself prepare yourself mentally, financially, physically, you know, be in a state like, you know, okay, I've got this, number, like, you know, yeah, of course, you know, sometimes it's good, but just being perfect, man. Like, don't be like, if you're stressed before the child is here, you're not going to unstress when the child is there, if that makes sense. I mean, hope that makes sense. Yeah.
No, they did. So when you then had your second child, which is your daughter, is that right?
Yeah. Live right.
Yeah. So you went from having a son where you've come like, it's quite similar. We're guys, all right.
Yeah.
To now having a daughter.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because I know we've talked about that thing of being a dad, but you now have a daughter. Your mind kind of changes somewhat. So how did your mind change when you were having a daughter?
Yeah, great question. I think it's not so much having a daughter, but it's more to have the second child because you got the first child. With the second child, you're like, we got this. I know what I'm doing now. Do you know what I mean? Like I was able to sleep now. Do you know what I mean? So like everything that she did was young. I really knew. Do you know what I mean? Like getting up.
You went sitting again. You went sitting again.
Yeah. No, I won't do that no more. I won't do that anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, there definitely is like a bit more for being anyway, like a bit more of a protected thing. Because I'm Libra's 14 now. I mean, that TikTok, I call her the TikTok generation. So it's like the more of that protective side of things. But the same way, similar, she's still protected. But yeah, obviously, as a daughter, and I know that. I think for me, I think so that she has my last name, right? And one day she'll get married, and then my name will go. Do you know what I mean? So I need to know that I'm the first man in her life, right? Do you know what I mean? So always like to make sure that, you know, from a young age, like especially when she's a baby, like, you know that she's got a dad around and she sees me all the time and she knows how much I love her, right? And it's that kind of having that kind of comfort and that kind of, you know, that she's safe with me. Do you know what I mean? Nothing really changes much as like, you know, the actual upbringing side of it. It's more so now that she's a teenager, that hopefully, and since the mum and I together, but yeah, the more the protective side of things were like my daughter. I'm more close to my daughter than my son, really. But my son's at university now, so it's just, you know. So I think that changed a little bit in terms of like, yeah, maybe because she's a teenager. I know girls, teenagers go through that time like, oh, so depending on when I have her for the weekend, whatever. So, I mean, depending on what kind of mood she may be in, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. What's it? What kind of things did you do differently? So you had your son. What did you do differently with your daughter when she was growing up?
I think to a certain degree, I think when it came to like, I think with Jaden, I know that the time when I think the mum would have taken him to nursery a bit more because where we used to live in Luton, right? And I remember I'd be driving down the M1, like driving all the way to London to go to work, whatever. It was quite long at this point, right? So, so I think that taking him to school, nursery, that she did a lot of that. Do you know what I mean? You know, but with Liv Ray, I was able that when we lived back in London, I took her to school more often. So I think I had more of a bringing her, take more contact, taking school more than I did Jade, if that makes sense. So I think that alone, I had more of a connection with her. That's in that sense, you know. That sort of thing I think different. But that I think that's more in the sense of like where we were living at the time, you know. So I was able to live in London and yeah, my work was in London. So yeah, so I think in that sense that's the only thing differently, really, I would say.
So then you had a third one.
Yes, Eden Rose is 8.
And so now you've got multiple personalities to deal with.
Yeah.
What's it like with the third one now? So you got the first one when you're like looking at the baby like this. Second one, you're like, oh, I got this. Third one, you're like, What's happening with that one now? What's the theme of this one?
Yeah. With the third one, it's like
Which came how long after the second one?
6. So Jaden. So there's 7 years between Olivia Ray and Jaden, and it's 6 between Eden Rose and Olivia Ray. Yeah, so 6. Yeah, so Jaden's 19. Jason 19, 14. No, 5 years. So it's 5 years between Jaden and Olivia and Olivia and Eden is 6 years. So it's quite it's funny when we think the gaps are quite big in it. But in that time, I mean, at a time, I think really
good gaps. Good gaps.
Well, yeah, you I thought so at the time, and I think that time was like a time when we were trying to maybe I say probably heal, like try to I don't want to say fix our relationship, but that sounds really bad. But I think that's time where when you have those
work on it. Yeah, work on it.
Yeah. I think sometimes when you have those kind of gaps, you can, as a couple, you need to be as a couple, right? I mean, if you have kids and they're all together, you're raising children, but you're not raising each other. It's like, that's and ultimately just breaks family, isn't it? But with either roles, it's like, I think knowing that. I knew the kids were all. I knew I can have Jenny gonna be a boy, and I knew Libra was gonna be a girl. I just knew the order they're gonna come. I don't know why, but I knew Eden was gonna be a girl, and I think that probably made it easier because of my lesson with Libra. If that makes sense. I mean, so there was nothing really much different that I did with Libra and Eden one. It's just that obviously then because I was able to, be around more in regards to like raising Liberate, Jenny get older at the time of 15 at the time. And then with Eden Rose, it's like she was quite lucky because obviously her older brother, she's got a sister in it, so she could kind of see that dynamic there. Whereas Liberate, her dynamic is quite good because she's got an older brother and a younger sister. But put Liberate's right in the middle. So sometimes as families, Liberate, she probably feels like that she either gets trouble for many things or she gets left out of many things. I mean, because sometimes she's at an age where, like, when it comes to the weekend, for example, we go to church, right? And Libra, she's at an age where she's too old for the younger ones, but she's too young, like, for the older ones. I mean, she's kind of like a little bit in the middle. You know what I mean? And obviously Jaden, because he's the older child, he's the oldest, so like, Jaden does his own thing, and we're all like pampering either roles, isn't it? So Libra feels like she's like, oh, I'm here too.
Yeah.
It's funny with these kids, but so with either role, she's like I say that I call Liberate, she's my first princess, and either was my baby princess, right? So and they kind of play off on that a little bit, but there's no difference really how Raven is. Just that either role, she's just like either role that she knows she's the baby princess, and she knows that she's whereas Liberate, I think sometimes because she has a because she goes to school, it takes her sister with her to school. She takes sister to school, then she goes to school, right? Her mom is a teacher, right? Her mom goes to different school. So when Libra had to do a lot of like growing up, looking after her sister. You know what I mean? So sometimes I think she has kind of not resent, but it's a big word. But sometimes she's like, oh, again, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be fair, Jane had to do that as well. But I think Jane, I think when the mom and I split, I think Jane was 14, 15 maybe. I think so, yeah. Which one by it's never good timing, but he was going for exams with that, so that wasn't very good time for him, whatever. But again, that's a context for another day. But yeah. Vida Rose is like, nothing major. There's no major difference really, almost.
All right. So what was the hardest thing you had to kind of, so you got 3 of them now. What was the hardest part of having 3 kids? And when you got to your third kid, how old were you when you had your third kid?
So Eden Rose is 8. I am. So I would have been. How old was I? I would have been 38. I suppose 38. Yeah, 38. Yeah. So yeah, I'm 38 and I've got 3 kids, but I don't know. But that's quite normal for a guy, right? I think. I mean, but Nami is.
Well, some people think you should have 25 by now. So
yeah. Some Nami is. Naomi's 40. Yeah, Naomi's 40. So yeah, so she's got 3 kids under 40. I mean, so how did I feel when I had 3 kids? Was that a question?
Yes. What was the hardest thing? What's the hardest thing about
What's
it?
hard to think? It's a great question. I think the hardest thing was I got to the point where I had 3 kids, but ultimately we weren't really a unit. We weren't really a family. You know what I mean? I had 3 children. And I think that's stabilization, isn't it? You know, as I mentioned before, you've got a family and you're raising kids, but you're not raising each other. You know what I mean? And it's so underrated. People talk about love all day long, but there has to be likability in it as well. You know what I mean? You have to be able to, you know what I mean? Because people can,
And that's a conversation we're definitely gonna have, isn't it?
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Look, it's some realism. Some realism. Sometimes people say like, if the best example I can say for people who may listen is like, marriage is like a house, right? You need to check your foundations, man. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Definitely.
the windows are
Yeah.
lovely. You've got lovely curtains. The roof is nice, but if you see
The
cracks in it,
foundations ain't good. Yeah.
if the foundations are good, don't worry about putting furniture in there. So I mean, start your foundation. I mean, you know. But then when you check the foundation, you realize that you got all this furniture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the kids,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And then you're trying to like sort that out, but ultimately, it just doesn't like you're just you're drowning each other. You know what I mean? You know, and the kids and kids grow and kids see everything. You know, kids notice like it's a bit odd. Like
So part of that whole thing of foundation was the thing that you were saying about once you found out she was pregnant, you kind of just rolled with it. And the fact that you didn't get to take stock and really kind of maybe come together a little bit more. Maybe that was part of. Do you know what I mean?
100%. That's nail on the head. 100%. And it's one of the things like, you know, had a baby. Okay, great. Ooh, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, but we don't even know. We're not growing each other yet. We're not even.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
You haven't even connected properly. Yeah.
Literally.
How long had you been together at the time?
Less than 5 months, 6 months, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, in the space of a year, in the space of 1 year, we got together, we moved in together, we had Jaden, we got married. Yeah, everything was quick, man. It was quick, yeah.
Wow.
Quick flow. Yeah.
Is that when you were going through it, was it all kind of romanticized in your head? Was you like, this is the way it's supposed to be? I found somebody, this is the way it's supposed to be, or was it just like, or was you not even thinking that? Was just reacting?
I think there's definitely a reaction in there, but I think when you find that you're gonna be a parent, yeah, the ultimate thing is one to do the right thing. Okay, and okay, like I said, I'm a Christian, right? And I want to do things the right way. She's a Christian as well, right? So you hear that, think, okay, so we should get married, right? Do you know what I mean? So it's like that, you know. It's like when it's not really a good example, but kind of. It's like when people used to go in the army, right? And they married their sweetheart. Let's get married. Go to war. You know, because you may not see him again, right? But you think it's something to do, you think it's the right thing to do. Do you know what I mean? So, but when they go to war, they give them something to fight back for. We have a child together. So, let's just get married. Then. We must get married. We're gonna have a child together, right? You know what I mean, you know, in hindsight, like 2 people need to get to know each other. Just because you have so people listening, just because you have children together, doesn't mean you should get married someone. Just get to know each other person. Children's great. Nothing to do with children. Children are fantastic, but I mean, because in the ideal, remember we talked about ideal world before. The ideal world is that you get someone, you court someone, go out together, spend time together, spend a good 2 years to get to know someone before you decide, okay, this person might be it. Do you know what I mean, and even if you actually have a child, let's just get married to the person, man. Do you know what I mean? You know, because like I said, it's all about you have to build because the love you have for children is different from you have for your spouse because you know what I mean. You have to be able to like. It's about building. It's about connection. You use the word. Connect. It's about connection. It's about connection, bro. It's about connection. Like I said, love and likability and attraction. All of that's fantastic, man. But are we growing together though? Or are we just like?
Yeah.
Are we just raising kids? That's the thing. Are we growing together?
That's another thing as well. We're just raising kids. Are we just Are we just parents? Are we just whatever going through it? Yeah. I know what you mean.
That's top. That's the title of your show right there, man. Are we raising kids or raising each other? That's it because you know, because a lot of women are raising kids, but you know what I mean, are they you know what I mean, are they connecting to the husband? I mean, you know, and not the husband or the guy, you know.
But I remember going to raves, right? And you know, you dance with a girl, and you're like, whatever, and you're thinking, all right. So you go, hi, how you doing? What's your name? And she'd be like, yeah, my name's such and such. And then she'd be like, and you'd be like, are you single, whatever? Like, you know, because you want to get the number. She's like, no, I'm not. And you're like, okay. She'd be like, so I had to have a conversation with them. I asked them, you know, so if you're not single, where's the guy? Where is he? Is he here tonight? What's going on? Like, she'd be like, no, he's not here. So I'm like, so then I'm going, okay, so you with him? How long you been with him? I've been with him like 4 or 5, like sometimes it'd be like 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I'd be like, right, okay, cool, all right. I'm still thinking like, oh no, it's a bit weird. I'm dancing with you, but all right, cool. And then I'll be like, and then I ask her like, so what? You in love? I was expecting, and I was so naive. I'm thinking if you've been with somebody a certain amount of years, you're gonna be just saying yes. So you're gonna be like, I'm in love and love that person. You're like, you see the face that going,
yeah.
And I'll be like, well, you're not in love. She goes, nah, he gets on my nerves. He gets on my nerves. I say, my man. I'm like, so why are you with him then? We've got kids. You know, we've got a mortgage together, and you know, we've got stuff, and
you'd be so well. You're not surprised because you're saying it, but you'll be so surprised the amount of people that get together or get married because they have kids together before after and people stay together because of the kids. It's very common, bro. And a part of it, listen, I admire that. It makes sense, right? Because you know you want your children to
do the right thing
together. Of course, yeah, it's the right thing. You know, I said to people that I made the right decision for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
Say again for people that can't hear you.
I made the right decision for the wrong reason. So the right decision is to get married, by the wrong reason because we have kids. I mean, don't get married because you got kids. You know what I mean,
Timothy can see this. Timothy can see this. Can you see that?
Yeah. Is that you? Is that you? Yeah. You know what I mean? But sometimes life is about life in life, right? I'm sure you've heard this before, or maybe you heard in different contexts, and this is something you can tell those kids that you mentor. And life gives you the exam, right? The next day, the following weeks is when you have the test. You know what I mean? So there's something that you can never prepare yourself for. You know what I mean? You just, wow, okay. Do you know what I mean? And then you learn as you go along. Okay, you know what? Maybe that wasn't the best thing. I wasn't prepared for that. It's something you're not prepared for, but you know, sometimes it's okay. And maybe there's a message in here. But sometimes it's okay to take a moment to like, okay, let me look at the situation. What's the right decision here? I mean, what is? I mean, how am I gonna manage this? No, yes, it looks like okay, we should do this actually because yeah, that's what the world says, right? But hold on a minute. Just it's okay. Take a moment. You know what I mean? So that's probably another thing. I'm saying. You know, maybe take a moment. So maybe fourth thing. Add that one to the list. The 3 things I said before. But yeah, just take a. It's okay. It's okay.
That before, Mister.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to take a moment. You know.
No, excellent. So let me ask you this controversial question. Okay, it's controversial.
Okay, here we go. Dun, dun, dun.
All the lights. Do you think that if you two had a better foundation, you'd be a better father? Take a second. Really think. Don't answer straight away. Think about it. There's no wrong or right, obviously. It's your reality, but
you'll come some questions today, bro. Oh my God, you've been doing your homework today, man. What?
Just so I'm the life coach, mate.
I generally don't know. I like to think I don't think it would have made the difference. I think I would like to think I am a good dad. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, ultimately you'd probably speak to my kids in a few years and say, what do you think of your dad? You know? but I think
Now, do you think? Because remember, we're talking external here, so we're talking about if raw environmental. Yeah. So if you had a better foundation environmentally, do you think you would have been, you know, maybe I don't know, more enthusiastic to equip yourself? I don't know. You tell me. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah, like I said, I generally don't know. I generally don't know because I don't know. That's like trying to say, oh, if we had, you know, more, if we had, lots of money when we first got married, would it be
Hmm.
better? Possibly, but it could have been worse, isn't it? So I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
I just want to say, I generally don't know. I generally don't know. I think that I am, this is not a big-headed thing, but I think
Of course
I
it is.
am.
Of course it is. Ego.
Yeah, I think I'm a fantastic dad. No, I think I am. I think I'm a good dad, and I am a father. I'm a dad who didn't have a dad, who didn't have a father. So, but I have a relationship with my children. My children know that I'm around. They know that I'm present in their life. More importantly, um, um, you know, I know everything about my kids, everything about me. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what's important, especially when you're not with the children's mother, you don't live in the same household. It's very important for you to be present in life, like, which I am, right? So I take that on board. I think that's very important to say because, yeah, of course, maybe there's always things we can, as anybody, as human beings, but as a parent, we could always think, oh, we could have done more, but really, truly, can we have done more?
Knowing a little bit of your situation, I would probably more say that it probably more, not necessarily in the beginning. I'd say more towards the end. Maybe I reckon it would have been, had your foundation better later on in your relationship. Maybe you'd parented better at the end. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because you would have had that, you'd have been together a little bit more. Maybe you would, you wouldn't have been as emotional as a point where you would have been towards the end of that. So going from there, so what was it when you did split? And obviously we're going to talk about it in another time. But when you did actually split, what was your number one thing in terms of being a dad at that point? Because you already said that you didn't feel like you was a proper unit already. So
Yeah. I think the one thing I want to make sure that the connection and being present for my children was very important. And what made it difficult because at the time there was the COVID time as well. So once I had moved out, there was a lot of this you can go back. If you're out, you could go back in, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So that was that difficult thing. And in hindsight, I mean, I think sometimes you look back at it, it makes sense because could that have been worse if the two people are not together. Many people who would want together, but they don't start together. That's the horrible situation when you hear about so many cases about people who go through domestic abuse and because you couldn't leave the house, it gets worse, isn't it? So that wasn't our portion, but I'm just saying. But I think it's important for me to just obviously be present. I mean, I think I remember when I had moved out. I remember I was still going back sometimes to do the school run and all that kind of stuff. Because other times she was in university studying to be a teacher. So I remember I had to go. Oh my goodness! I remember I'll go from Brixton to where I am to Enfield, like early in the morning. Get there, get to her house. Then she'll go to university, whatever. Pick up the girls, take them to school, then go to work, right? And then sometimes, and bear in mind, this is like, I believe my house like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just because I wanted to do, like, be that, try to keep things as normal as it can be, if that makes sense, but I'm just killing me. The journey, why it's just killing me, you know what I mean? And then sometimes then I'll leave work, pick them up from after school club, take them home to cook dinner, then come back all about to Brixton. You know what I mean? So I leave out like, and I remember doing that sometimes a day. So I leave at home like 6 in the morning, and I come back here like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and then do it again. You know what I mean? I do that for like 2, 3 days a week, right? But that's exhausting. But like I said, just to keep things, ticking over, I suppose, in that sense. So I was mindful that I wanted to do that because I think I started with present on. I mean, because you can leave and then and because you need that space as a human being, you need that for your own mental, which I can understand, so people do that, I can understand that. But at the same time, you know, the kids' structure still have to be the same. The school run has to happen. You know what I mean, they still have to do the thing. You know what I mean, they still have to go to school after school clubs. You know what I mean, so yeah. So that still have to get done, and I had to kind of suck that up and just do that if I'm honest with you. So yeah, but I was very mindful that I wanted to have that connection. So I spent answering the question. Yeah, I wanted to have that. You know, what I mean, it wasn't a thing. You know, yes, I was leaving our relationship, but I wasn't leaving the kids. Although I can theoretically, technically, to avoid, but I didn't want it to be a thing that they think that I left there. If that makes sense. So yeah.
What was that like emotionally?
Very draining, very sad, very I think as a man, the black man of African heritage, you end up being a statistic, don't you, right? And you know, you end up being someone that marriage, another marriage that hasn't worked out, right? And you know, it's horrible. Nobody gets married to get divorced. Nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, and a lot of people tell you, oh, marriage is for life. And I thought 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Big time.
sometimes people just not. Some people just don't work out.
You're not supposed to be together, exactly.
Yeah.
Been there, wear the cap, boy.
Yeah, no, I know, right? I
Mhm.
know, right? Yeah, so you know. So sometimes it's like, yeah, so you have that. So you have guilt, you have shame, you know, you go through all different emotions. That's when you realize what life is. Life is
So let's just pause it. Pause a second, yeah. Let's talk about the shame. Because that's something that I know I definitely went through, yeah. But what was the shame for you?
Yeah,
What was it down for you?
the shame is telling your mum that your marriage is over. The shame is telling your friends your marriage is over. The shame is telling your children, mum and dad are not together no more. You know, dad is not living here no more. So we sat the kids down and we told them that what mum and dad were working out. And, you know, and the funny thing, my daughter like said, "Oh, is that it?" You know. Because remember I said before that they knew.
They kind of knew. They kind of knew.
Yeah, they kind of knew. Yeah, my son was angry. My son was slamming doors and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But he's the oldest, innit? So I get it. You know, he's not mum.
He's been with you the longest. Yeah.
So I get that. You know, and subsequently, my son and I we did talk for a few months and stuff like that. But the shame is like when you tell people that your marriage is not good. And I remember my sister. I love my sister. My sister Vivian. She cussed me every day for about a good 6 months. You know, we don't do divorce in our family. You better do whatever you can to go back to them. I hope you weren't hitting her. I hope you weren't abusive. I'm thinking, whoa, where did all that come from? Like, what?
Yeah,
you know
wow.
Where that come from? Do you know what I mean? You know, could people automatically think when a man break down that the man's abusive, he's an alcoholic, he whatever. You know what I mean? So
he did something, he cheated or whatever.
Right?
And
Yeah. Because it's always the man, isn't it? So. So and for us, it's just not like that. It's just a thing of like, just I think with us, it's nothing like that at all. So I think it's that shame. That shame of like especially when people come to your wedding, innit? And they're there, and people say, "Oh, happy wedding, lovely scenery," all that kind of stuff. And then a few 10 years later, to be fair, 10, 12 years later, but regardless of time, it's that, isn't it? You know, like I said before, nobody gets married. No one gets married to tell people, "Oh, well, we get divorced." You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah. So what are the other emotions? So you said, your shame, your disappointment, you said?
I think the shame, shame, embarrassment, same thing, the same embarrassment, guilty. I feel guilty for the kids. Yeah. I felt guilty because I was one to leave, right? So I felt guilty since like I got to leave, right? And then hopefully then she had the kids in the home and that kind of stuff, right? So she has to deal with that, and it's just to deal with how the kids are, because me not being around how the girls can start being, they're going to start behaving. My son's going to start being a teenager, going to start being like hobbled to his mum, whatever, you know what I mean? Or taking out his mum, not physically, but just as children may do, right? So I felt guilty in that sense, because I got to leave, you know what I mean? And start, although it's hard for me because then I still don't see the kids. I didn't see the kids in it. So and then you go, and then I think the other thing is you feel like a failure, isn't it? Like you feel like a failure, but you feel like I feel like I'm now person ticked in the box of like third marriage, and I'm a black man.
Yeah, third marriage,
another guy man. That another dad, and that I think that was the word. It wasn't so much the husband thing. That wasn't so much the thing because I never had that before. I never saw my mum and my dad. I never saw my mum might be the other one, so I didn't have that thing there. But I think the main thing was like, yeah, I don't want to be like a deadbeat dad, like who did take care of his kids. I was never going to do that anyway. But ultimately, the moment, because you don't know how she's going to take it, that right? You don't know if she's going to stop me from seeing the kids. If she's going to stop me horrible, it could start saying horrible things to the kids about me, whatever. You don't know that stuff. You know, but all I can do is praise
she's
about
gonna
me,
make the divorce horrible. Yeah, all that
right?
kind of
Exactly,
stuff.
exactly. All that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, so I think you kind of, I always kind of think about that as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, like I said, it's just lots of different emotions going for a time. You know, but sometimes a part of that is what like it's a release as well. It's bit of you know, because you feel like essentially like you can breathe again. You know, you can breathe again.
Breathe again.
because
Yeah, you can exhale.
when you're in a household where, and this could be like for women as well going through domestic abuse, right? When you're a thing where you're trapped, you can't go. You know, but in the sense of like having that, you can breathe. As sad it is that two people are together, but you can breathe again. You know what I mean? And breathing is very important in life, man. You need to breathe. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah,
So you know what I mean? When you're when you feel like you're stranded out because of tension, the marriage is still tense and you can't breathe and you walk on eggshells and this feels heavy and you feel cold and
that's the
there's so
worst
many
type
things
of place to be in.
of course it is, because it's not married, isn't it? It's like a prison cell, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, and you can be mentally be a prison cell here as
yeah,
well.
bro.
Like you can't get out your own head.
You know, man.
But we're gonna talk about definitely, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. That'll be a long podcast.
Yeah. It's interesting though. It's interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes it's interesting to know when other people go through it, because the people understand. And like I said, everything that like everyone said, you get it, like you've been in before. You know what I mean? Yes, maybe we really know the kids thing, but sometimes you can remove yourself from it, remove children situations. This is how you as a person, right? Because like I said, nobody gets married to want to get divorced. Because divorce is long, right? It's not divorce process is long, but just the fact that you two people got married in a church. And now, sorry, you don't be together. But that in itself like really like what are we doing here? You know what I mean, because you can think that yes, maybe we should have done it, but you did do it. You know what I mean, so but now get the that's a big thing, and people, you know, I do.
That's not the reason why people stay together though.
Sorry,
because maybe that's not the reason why people stay together. Because you said maybe you shouldn't have done it, but now you've done it, and that's what people stay together. We're like, well, we're here now, so let's just plod on and let's just get on with it.
Like I said. It's gonna be a long show because there's a reason why. The next time we talk about this, like there's a reason why many people stay together when they should be together. Like just like breathe. But and people say that, and I know people who told me personally. You know, I've got people say to me that their mum and dad weren't happy, right? But their mum and dad were waiting for the kid to get older before when they move up to divorce. What's stupid? Because you just make yourself more. So why the kids don't move up to their 25, 26? What are you gonna do then? You know what I mean? You know,
go throw them out.
But someone said to me that he said divorce is not a good thing, but he respected me for what I'm doing that because if two people are not happy now when they got kids around, they're not gonna be happy later on. That's how it is. I mean, it's just you know, especially if you go through counselling and therapy and stuff, which we did, by the way. And I did, she did, we did together, whatever. You know, I didn't get up and sleep one day. You know what I mean? So it's a process. You know what I mean? So, but you know, I'm sure you did that as well, right? But sometimes when you go through the kind of stuff, sometimes he said, bro, sometimes people just you go therapy and you know what? It just doesn't work. You come to realization actually that you know what? We've come to our course here. You know what I mean?
I think for me, I've in my situation. I don't want to go into, but in my situation, we didn't do the therapy. We didn't do it, and partly because I know for myself. I think I mentioned it, but I also felt like I don't know. Part of me was like I didn't really want to save it. As bad as it sounds, I didn't really want to save it. You know, which is another conversation we have. We have a long conversation. But that's why we did. That's why I didn't. That's why I did.
Well, that's very truthful. That's very truthful. I get that. That's very truthful, man. Thank you for sharing that, man. Because that makes sense. Because I mean, and on one side, but you can go to therapy knowing that it can't be saved, but you want to tell yourself that at least I went to therapy. You know what I mean?
The general consensus is that people say, oh well, you know, you've done it because you want to make sure you've done everything to thingy. But my reality was I knew that I didn't really want to save it. I think that's me being my ultimate truth. I think I just felt like we were just on two different
things anyway.
Pages, yeah,
You know, I don't think we would have gained anything by it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then like you said, you go for the same emotions and went for the same emotions as you did. You know what I mean? But that's how life goes, isn't it? You know, sometimes you make decisions and it doesn't work out, and sometimes you can drag it on, or you can just be like, you know what, let's just leave it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's ownership. I think it's the ownership of decisions, isn't it? That's not that's topic for another day. Decision, living by the decisions that you make in life. You know, sometimes that's what it is, bro. Sometimes that's what it is, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I had to say something like it is what it is, or it was what it was. You know what I mean? You know, so
yeah. You know, it's
This feels like therapy, boy.
Yeah, bro. So I'm talking this way at the podcast, Jim the Life Coach podcast. Listen, guys, listeners, we didn't do an intro. We just went straight into this. We was talking. I said, right, I'm pressing record. We're gonna talk.
No, that's cool. It's cool. No, but
you know,
so listen, talking is therapy, bro. Talking is therapy.
I'm telling you.
When you have therapy in life, right? That's one good thing. But also, this is therapy. Like you can just talk to someone. You can say, you know, yeah, you get it. Or you know, someone can say, okay, that's interesting. Why do you feel that way? What makes you feel like that? Oh, and just ask a proper question like, okay, yeah, you know, I never thought about that way. Like when you're asking about, oh, how do I feel about being a child? Like, you know, being a father, what do you do? Because they're different. I know, no one's ever asked a question before. I think you said to me about, oh, if we had worked on the foundation, if I had foundation, because do I think I've been a better father now? That's a good question. No, I've never asked myself that question, and you know. Which is a good question. Something gets some questions like, wow, okay, well, I never thought about that way. You're right. I suppose there is no wrong or right answer to that one. There's not really one I can really definitively say either. But yeah, so that's a great question. So, but this is good though, because sometimes you have conversations like, you know, so they makes you think, but okay, yeah, it's true, you know, you know, something can say, you know, I've done the best I can do. I'm doing the best I can do, or I can do better in certain areas, right? And that's what life is about, isn't it? You know, it's just about just trying to improve, bro. Trying to improve. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, trying to improve. No,
and that's what this podcast is about. Yeah,
for sure. Now, I'll never say that. Oh, I'm an expert on marriage or divorce or whatever, or expert parent. No, all I can talk about is my experience as who I am, living God's earth for 46 years. You know what I mean? So, and the experience that I've got as a black man and living and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, someone may relate to it. Some may not relate to it. Some will, oh no, you should have done those kind of things. It is what it is, isn't it? So, you know, but we all live and learn from each other. But it'd be interesting though to hear other people who are married or people not married but got kids together and whatever. It'd be interesting to see how people think.
So talk to listeners. Go on, talk to them. Come on.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd love to hear comments or people who are not together but have kids. Yeah, and how are your dynamics? Or maybe someone who like. You just don't get along with the person that you have a child with, you know what I mean? But you know, the only reason you see that person because of the child, you know, just that dynamics really. But also, I just want to hear from people like maybe from people who like don't have any children, right? Don't have intention to have children, but the person they're with wants to have children. What do you do then? Do you stay with that person or not? You know, do you know what I mean? Like, because you know, I guess. Biblically, you know, we're taught that okay, you know, we're supposed to grow, procreate, and that kind of stuff. But some women don't want to have children. Some men don't want to have children. You know what I mean, so why if you meet a perfect woman, you want to have children, but she doesn't have children, but she's the perfect woman for you. What do you do then? Do you leave her? Like, do you convince her to have children? Like, you know, I mean, that's not right.
You leave her. Say to you that bye. No, no.
Really. What do you do?
If I wanted kids and they didn't,
yeah.
Right now, where I'm in my life, if I wanted kids and they didn't, I'd have to say, see you later, alligator.
Okay. So you're
no. I mean, no. To be fair, no.
So right now, so are you okay? So so let's say right now, are you adamant you want to have children? Are you adamant that you really want? Or you think that's what you want? You don't have kids. Do you really want kids, or do you think you want kids? Do you really want kids? Really want kids? Seriously.
I think I'm a bit too old right now. I think I'm old now. Not right now. I'm
okay,
no.
You said old right now.
Right now, I'm getting younger. No, but I think I'm too old now. I think women always say, guys gonna have kids and everything. I don't want to be an old dad. I always said I don't want to be, you know, I'm my back's all broke up and I'm trying to run after my kids. You know what I mean? Bronson, come back here. No, I don't want to know that. So.
Bronson, you know? What kind of Bronson?
I don't know. Shut up. But hey, don't judge me. But no, no, I generally just didn't want to be an old dad. Generally, I just wanted to. I wanted to have my kids younger, and and yeah, I just never, I never found anyone that who I felt like, yeah, I wanted to really, you know, procreate with. And then
But
we've also had scares as well on the journey as well. So do you know what I mean?
okay,
Where I say scares because I was young, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, but like
But
now,
I do remember saying that your ex-wife, she had kids, right? So you stepdad, weren't you?
yeah,
So you have done the parenting side of things, but you just never wanted to.
yeah. She had 4 kids, man, and I went in there and I was like the superintendent dad coming
Oh,
in
she had
there.
4 kids. Or I thought she had 2 kids. Four. Right,
Mm,
okay.
mm,
Right,
mm.
okay.
Yeah. And I
That's
went in there
that,
and
that's what we call ready-made family.
big time. And the thing is,
The eyes.
I tell you one thing I underestimated as well. And I don't know if whether any listeners or any people watching can relate, but I underestimated them energies. You know, like we have like a natural energy. I underestimated because she had like kids that live with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 kids that live with her. I underestimated the I could feel all their energies. You get what I'm saying? Like when they're down or when there's animosity, when someone's angry, I could feel those energies. And whereas I've only lived on my own, all I had to worry about was my energy. You
Right,
get me? Or just my mum's
right.
energy. But then when you've got like other people's energy and necessarily people who you didn't really know that well, like young people, but you're living with them, you can't just like, you know what I mean? It was really difficult to kind of get used to that.
Interesting. Yeah, of
It
course,
was really like it's
That's
one thing
different
that I
dynamic right
remember.
there. Yeah.
Different dynamics. The noise, the cacophony was different. Do you get what I'm saying? And getting used to that ambience, like that was different. Do you know what I mean? Um,
That might be something wrong though. That'll be interesting to see women on here raising another man's child, or vice versa. Maybe men who are with women and they're raising another man's child, and but they don't have child of their own. Like how is that about? How are you with that child? Are you all in, or you just in her? That makes sense. I mean, like, does it make sense?
yeah.
Like, that'd be
I
interesting,
mean,
man.
and a lot of them will make it. Well, you got to make sure you know my kids, man. You got to get in with my kids. Oh, we
Yeah.
can't even. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think
So
so though? Do you think so? Because I think sometimes women say, "No, you can't tell my child whatever." It depends on it. It depends what kind of women you get.
no.
Because
I don't mean like that. I don't mean like that. I just mean as in obviously they're not going to pull you around their kids if you don't have a good relationship with them. Obviously, if they're unless they're they're very careless. But I mean, just in the sense of like you know, if you want to get with me, do we come as a package? Do you know what I'm saying? And you better, yeah. And if that relationship with the kids don't work, then there's no point in us even trying to even work. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
some women have really, really grandstand that and put that out there, like that's the main thesis. Which fair enough, innit? You know what I mean? That's what you need. That's what you need, innit? And some are very much like, you ain't gonna meet my kids until 2 years later or down the line, fam. It's not happening. Do you know what I mean? And it is what it is. And some women are like, you meet them straight away here, meet them tomorrow.
yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting.
So it's it's different sorts for different folks. It's mad. I don't know. Are you gonna have any more?
That's a great question. I
You
get.
gonna meet anybody and have any more?
That's a great question. I think sometimes I'm like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, well, I would like another child, right? But if I get with a lady and she's got kids already, then I've got 3, right? So that's 3 already I'm bringing to the table, right? So let's say, for example, she has 3 kids. Well, that was 6 right there. Are we really gonna have another child our age? Like, you know what I mean? But because sometimes I'm like, yeah, sometimes I'm like, no. Do you know what I mean? But also me, I could be red flag for women. Look, I talked to someone today about this before I came on air to you that so with me, G, I'm like, I'm honest and transparent with people. That's just me as a person. That's how we should all be. But that's one of my traits I have, right? I'm just honest and transparent. So, but my red flag is that me, I'm talking my own red flag. So women may see a red flag. One, because I've got 3 kids. I mean, and my age, well, I've got 3 kids. Obviously, if I come to a woman and say, "Oh, I'm single, I got 1 child," that's cool. Women expect to have 1 child. 2, I've got 3. I mean, my oldest 19, my youngest is 3. I mean, so that's a red flag right there. But the thing is, with that red flag, all my children were from the same woman. Do you know what I mean? So that could say, like, okay, maybe that would not be a red flag because maybe it's, oh, well, he's not around all the place. If I had 3 kids and two baby mamas, that could I hate that one, baby mamas.
The only thing is that you are a red flag for some ladies because some ladies can be bitchy to other ladies, so they might be like, well, actually going to be bitchy towards you because now you come to her ex-man and whatever.
Yeah, sure, yeah. But yeah, I'm saying, so there's always things that, you know, that we can have that could just generally be about red flags and stuff. And I mean, you know, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting, isn't it? So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't have a definitive answer to say that do I want kids, I don't want kids. I think I'm open to it, but I have kids ready, so I'm a parent. You know, I expect that. I think I'll probably find it hard to. It's weird, man. Would I date? I don't know if I'll date a woman. Would I date a woman who didn't have kids? And I have to know that I have 3. I don't know.
Women, people who don't have kids, they do often say that they don't know whether they can be with somebody without kids because they're worried about. Sometimes they're worried about their what's the word I'm looking for? The word about whether they have had to commit to something or they can be forthright. And do you know what I'm saying? Like being a parent, you have to have certain things about you. And if they're worried about if they haven't got kids, then you haven't got that about you. So what's the point of
like what you meant if a man couldn't date a woman who didn't have kids? Like maybe, I don't know what you're looking for, but
it'll come back to me.
Okay. But I mean, I think I could, but it is something to think about, isn't it? Because especially it just depends on the person, isn't it? Obviously, like anything, it depends on who the person is, right? Maybe are you talking about whether she's nurturing or not?
No. It's like the whole thing of having it's like sacrifice basically. We have that sacrifice, yeah. So you're like being a parent, you have to sacrifice something. You have to go through, lots of different things. You know what I mean? Trying to become a parent or trying to be a parent, and
if someone
hasn't done that, sometimes it can be seen as a red flag. Like, why haven't you done that? And do you know what I'm saying? Do you have that gusto? That secret source element.
But sometimes you don't have people. Sometimes some women can't have children, some men can't have children. I mean, sometimes people don't want children, like I said before, so you just don't know, do you? So, but yeah,
if you didn't have kids and you were this age, right? Do you think you could get with somebody who couldn't have kids?
Couldn't have kids or they want kids?
Couldn't have kids. You were the age you are now. And you maybe wanted to have kids, but you met a lady and she couldn't have kids. Would you stay with her?
Probably not. Not if I wanted kids, no. I said probably not, but if I'm this age, I don't have kids, then who am I to say that I want to have kids now? Do you know what I mean? So do you know what I mean? I started before, innit? So being a dad is the best thing, isn't it, for me? So yeah, so I can't think of the word I don't have kids, but it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I love to hear. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice to have someone on here next time that just the whole kids thing and like having kids, dating. Who would you not date as a parent? What kind of woman? As a man, what woman would you not date? A woman, what kind of guy would you not date? You know what I mean? Would you date me if I have 3 kids? Would you not date me if I've got 3 kids? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Easy. Looking out for somebody, guys.
No, I'm just talking, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It's interesting. It's a great topic, though, man. It's a great topic, man. It's a good topic, man. It's got me thinking about a lot of things, isn't it? So
it's mad. So you now, you got kids, and what could you be a stepdad to somebody?
Yes.
Is that because you have the foundation of being a father behind you, or do you think you could do that anyway?
100%.
You'd be reluctant to do it. Would you be reluctant to do it?
I don't know about reluctant to do it, but yeah, if like I said, if I I have 3 kids, right? So then if I'm gonna get a woman and she's got kids, I can't expect her. I can't be like, you see, I've got 3 kids, right? I can't go to a woman. I can't only be looking for a woman that she's got no kids. Can't want to have first time first. But when I've got 3 kids, that's a bit selfish kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, but I get when people say that because they want. I get that when women say, "Oh, they want to be the guy who don't have kids." I get that because they want to express for themselves. But for me, I'm open-minded to it. But definitely, if she has kids, then yeah, and if we were to get married, moving together, and her kids moving with me, then obviously I'll be a step that. Yeah, of course, I have that parenting behind me, right? For sure, 100%. And as you mentioned before, sometimes woman has kids. They're part of her, right? That's the, you know what I mean. You're mad the kids was essentially, right? Yeah. So yes, 100%. Yeah. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's my kids, and like, you take care of your kid, take care of mine. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean, so so yeah, and I like I said, I enjoy being a father. You know, I've got 19 years experience, so I think it's I think it's
Yeah.
I'm
All
not
right,
gonna
I'm gonna judge you. 90 years
yeah,
experience.
yeah, I'm not gonna say that I've got it all locked down, but I mean, yeah, if a woman has 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, like what I mean, I've got 3, so like yeah, so yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. It's all about,
All right.
but you have to know who you are, though. I think when you're I think when you're in a position where you're ready to date, you have to know, you have to be able to heal yourself before you can date someone. That's something that I've gone through the therapy, spiritually and mental therapy as well, and emotional therapy. You know what I mean? Ready to date. When you're dating, ask yourself a question like, would I date me? As in like you, people at home listening, if you're ready to date, ask yourself a question, would you date yourself? You know what I mean? Would you date yourself? And then when anything has worked in your relationship, what did you do in that relationship that didn't work out? Because we can all say, oh, this person did this. I'll all say that the mum did this, our children's mum did this. But what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Well, I mean, and fix that, take accountability for that, because sometimes always.
And also, what did you allow? What did you allow?
Oh, bro, I love that. Like, what did you allow? Yeah, what did you allow? Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah. Because sometimes you can say you're a victim, but if you allow things, then really who's the victim? You're just like, you're letting it happen, right? I mean, so maybe it's part of you just not wanting it, but you just like what you're allowed nothing to happen.
Sometimes you lack the awareness, isn't it, to react when you're supposed to react, and
yeah. So I think there's a lot for healing ourselves, dating ourselves, as in take ourselves out. Do take care of yourself, man. Go out, enjoy yourself, man. Live life. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think what shall be shall be. I said to myself, I don't necessarily go out looking for love. You know what I mean? I love myself, and within that, not in a arrogant way, but I love myself in the sense of like, hey, I'm living, I'm working on myself, I'm progressing, I'm being a good dad. I have at the end of the day, my children's mother and I, we're parents. We have to coexist. We have to co-parent. I mean, so I try to do my best as I can, even when I feel like sometimes her communication is not the best. Sometimes, and sometimes. But you mentioned before, what you mentioned something very social. That's social. What we allow. Sometimes I allow things happen far too much. Respecting for her, but
yeah, I can see that for myself as well.
Yeah, and because we can say, oh, you want to be respectful to your child's mother, you want to be respectful to your ex-wife, as a man, you want to. That's fantastic. But the person has to respect you as well, right? I mean, the person has to respect you as well. I mean, I'm not.
For men, it's the number one thing.
Yeah.
When it's the number one thing, if you lose that, you lost everything, man.
It's funny because men, we always think that men want sex and all the kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, we want to be loved and respected. That's what we want.
But men, we want to be respected. That's all. We want to be respected. Have a conversation. Like, you don't like my idea, just go with it a little bit. I mean, just build some ego a little bit. I mean, but ultimately, it is respect. That's all it is. I mean, but yes, just make sure that you mentioned before about things that we allow to happen. I mean, just tell yourself what did you allow to happen? What did you take in? Yeah, man. Just and then and just and know your boundaries, man. Just know your boundaries, man. If something's a red flag, and you notice it, pay attention to the red flag. I mean, don't say, oh yeah, but she got some green flags too. Forget those green flags, man. If it's a big red flag, don't think because you got this 100 little small green flags there that they're trying to be decoration. The red flag, therefore, red flag's a big red's a big warning, Red flag's a big warning.
A lot of time, that's the communication part. That's the talking moment. Like that's the time when you're supposed to. If you got that and it's always coming to you when there's a red flag, that's the time when you either talk to yourself or talk to them, or you're doing both. You understand? Yeah.
Or you're bolting for the front door, isn't
Or,
it? Yeah, for
you
sure.
just
For sure.
yeah. Because do we
100,
oftentimes
bro.
yeah.
Listen, in anything, in all walks of life, is the C word, communication, isn't it? Communication. You know, and sometimes we lack that. Sometimes we like, oh, okay, I've seen that, but okay, I'm gonna know that. Maybe it wasn't that case. Talk about it, man. Talk about it. Man. That talk about it.
Do you know the one good thing about doing drama and doing performing arts is that we forget that a lot of it is a study of relationships. And we think we're all different relationships, the way they react to each other. Because remember, a lot of acting is the reaction to a reaction, like the motivation. Why did he say that to make him say that? Da, 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 da. And it sometimes helps us within situations where we see things more than we should. And sometimes it also helps us stay in situations because we know so much that we go, oh, maybe I might just need to do this. And if I do this, and maybe in their character, this might change or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I mentioned the allow, because you know, like you said, ultimately, like we always complain this person done this to me, but we allowed, you know, like no one, like for instance, I learned this when I was doing drama when I was working in a youth development project. The guy said the guy who led the project said, no one can ever make you feel a certain way. You know, say someone, you made me feel sad, you made me angry. You had that emotion in you already.
You chose to be angry. Yeah.
You had the emotion already. Yeah. And whatever they said have caused you to just say it out loud. That's what it is. Like that emotion was with it. No one can make you feel anything. It's a choice of whether you act on those emotions or not. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you put them down in the bin or wherever you put them. Do you know what I'm saying? And so all that with the knowledge of doing the acting and whatever, sometimes it makes you use emotions at the wrong time. Sometimes it makes you not want to use emotions. And sometimes it can come all a bit confusing. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're an emotional being. You know what I mean? If you're a man who's emotional, it can become. That's a lot of time. I spoke about that in my podcast a couple of weeks ago, like about those emotions. How do you navigate, you know, those seas of, you know, when you're up, should you stay up? When you are up, you bring everybody with you. When you're down, do you kind of say to yourself, I'm down, and just keep it to yourself? Or do you let everybody know you're down? But if you let everybody know you're down, you're not being a man, because therefore you need to be strong. And do you know what I mean? It's like, it's that hardness of, and sometimes I even saw it in your eyes in college. Sometimes, you know, when we were going to college, like I would try to bring that laughter out, because I could see in your eyes you weren't always, you know, with us. Do you get what I'm saying? So I always try to make it. That's why I was always trying to crack you up. To be fair, smile on your face, but but we're all on our. I know it. Obviously, being a man now, we all know now that we were all on our individual journeys, and we were all going through something different but similar at the same time. And it was with the girls as well. They were probably going on their own, like, you know, sexual journeys of, this guy likes me. What do I do with this? And what do I do with that? And how do I, do you know what I'm saying? And we were trying to get those girls or whatever we were doing. Do you know what I mean? So now that you've got daughters, yeah, what kind of dad you going to be when they grow up, when they become, you know, ladies?
Yeah, I think, I think like, I would say probably like most dads, we're more protective of our girls, in it, because we know we were once guys, right? In the sense of like going for girls, isn't it? You know, so that's especially when you get girls and your daughter, and she's like 10, 15, 16, that kind of age group, and then maybe they start like boys, whatever. You're just a little more skeptical of them, minute. You know what I mean? You know, so it's just been a bit. Of course, you want them to grow, you want them to experience life in general, but not too much, you know what I mean? So I think for me it might be more difficult, obviously, because I'm not with my daughter every single day, but definitely, when I have her holidays and weekends, and we talk on the phone and text message, what have you. So I'm very much, she keeps me to know how things, and I always have conversations about her, those kinds of things, anyway, like boyfriends or bullying or anyone troubling at school, whatever. She was like, no, it's fine, Dad, but I think it's important to have those conversations with her anyway. You know what I mean? And just know that she can come talk to me, because I think sometimes as parents we all say, oh yeah, we want to be. I never say that, but we want to be friends with our kids, and want them to be able to talk to us, and that's the hope. That's the hope. But really and truly, kids are always going to say things to you. Now you just hope that you'll be able to guide them in the right way of making the right decisions. Know they can talk to mum or dad, either or responsible parent or responsible adult. Whoever they may feel comfortable with, right? So, and there is that thing about, oh my goodness, I'm not around my daughter. She's going through certain stuff, and and that's why I think that's what came back. That's where the guilt came before, isn't it? Because you have that, they're gonna grow up and you're gonna. I don't know about missing events, but yeah, definitely just certain things that you're not seeing every single day, right? It's something when it's not
Yeah,
my kids,
you get certain things you're not going to be
feel
there
like they
for.
grow. Yeah, I feel like they're all grown. I feel like they just keep growing. Kids get taller, get more hair in their head. But I feel like it's just like probably exaggerating, but yeah, just so there is that, but that's part of the. I guess that's part of the decision that we both made, what I made, but that's part of the decision. That's why, and that's where we are right now. But it's ultimate that it comes down to before just being present and knowing that that I am present. They know that they can come and talk to me and have that relationship. And it's down to me as a parent to keep the connection alive, because children, they just you probably get that with your students that you teach, right? But it's important for you as the authoritative parent or the mentor or the guardian to constantly be parenting, constantly mentoring, because you have to be on top of that, because they lose focus when there's not. So you have to be on that. So it's my job to do it, So it's my job to be the parent, but also my job to try and connect and let her know that I'm there for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big. All right, we're gonna call it in a minute, all right? But I've got some questions for you, okay?
Cool beans.
He's actually written down questions.
Okay.
Also, just before we go into this, anybody that's listening, I'm looking for a female co-host. If you're a female co-host, you want to be part of the GM Life Coach podcast, do please. We want to get 2 people who can be on Thursdays at 8 p.m. if you can. Don't be like the guys who I know they're a long thing in it. Not you, Kov, but you're right. But we need 2 co-hosts. Someone that don't mind speaking their mind and can don't mind speaking about just everything underneath the sun. So if you're up for that, do email me at gmthelifecoach336@gmail.com. That's gmthelifecoach336@gmail.com, or you can email gmthelifecoachpodcast@gmail.com. All right, all the links will be in descriptions below, so if you want to get in part of that, then do feel free. Also I want to also thank you for listening before we get to this last bit, because we've got 86 subscribers now. We're getting there to the 100. Once we get there, it's going to be great. All organic as well. We ain't bought anybody. We paid no money. So I just want to thank you guys, but please make sure you like and subscribe, share it around, and please comment in the comments, because that's what really drives conversations and drives us in our engagement as well. Because and Christian, you are a co-host, by the way. Don't think you're not. You're a co-host. So you can ask questions and you can ask me questions and we ask each other questions, right? Cool, yeah. So everybody that's on the podcast, you all co-hosts. So you know that. But anyway, I just wanted to just get out there. But anyway, let's get to these last final questions. So what's some philosophy questions here? I love philosophy questions.
Okay.
Cool. You're thinking, man, so this should be good for you, okay? Take your time.
Apparently.
Okay. All right. How would life be without judgment? How would life be without judgment?
Simpler.
In what way? You think it make it difficult?
No, I think life would probably be simpler. You wouldn't be restricted in living your life. I mean, I guess of labor, there's something that you're gonna judge people for what they do, but I think ultimately people judge for the most minute things, right? And if that was taken away, then people could probably take more risks on their life a bit more, they'll enjoy life more, right? You know, I think what stops people doing this because people think, oh, we're gonna think about me doing this, right? People judge them already, right? People judge themselves sometimes, you know. Oh, I can't do it. I can't be seen there because this people say that. I mean, so I think if you take that away, I think people probably will live more. And I said that's why I say a little bit.
Yeah,
simple,
people live
a bit
a
simple.
bit
Does that
more
make sense?
be more vivacious. You mean they'll go out and
Yeah.
do a bit more outgoing.
Yeah, for sure. But like I said,
Yeah.
we're not talking about, you know, murderers and, you know, child killers, whatever. But, you know, we're talking about, you know, just a simple judge yourself. And I mean, like, you know, like, oh, I can't wear this. Oh, I can't go. Why can't I just make a video and dance? I mean, why we can judge me for that? Do you know what I mean? You know, yeah, that's that kind of thing.
All right. And if you let us know what you think as well in the comments, please. Yeah, what you think of that?
Please, yeah.
What will life be like without any judgment? It's interesting. All right.
Where are these your own questions? Yeah.
These are my own questions.
I like that. No, it's good. No, it's good. It's good. Good question. Good question.
Oh, this is good. This is coming from this part of the conversation we had before, right? So,
Okay.
is it more important to be respected or liked?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, that'll blow your mind. I knew it.
Respected. Yeah. To be liked is nice, but yeah, just respected because people can like you, but you know they think you're an idiot as well. Isn't it? So some people respect you; they may not necessarily like you, but they respect you for your decision you make. Right? So yeah, I would say respected. Yeah. I think we'll talk about. Yeah. I can't say like I would talk about respect enough. So yeah. Some like I said when this is like a
Do you think that's a guy thing? Yeah, it's that guy thing. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, 100%. But bro, it's just life in general, right? You know, someone you can respect someone for making a decision, respect them for that. You know what I mean? You just like them for it. You know what I mean? Like I can respect some people, but I don't necessarily like you. But I respect you. I respect you for being you, for making a decision and sticking by it. That's respect, isn't it? I mean, but when you like someone, because you like when if you want to be liked, you can't you try to visit everybody. You can't do that. They no one respect you because you're just like you're not standing anyway. You know what I mean, make a stand. If you stand on the left, I expect you to make a decision. The wrong one, but take a decision. I mean. But if you're on the fence, like, oh yeah, I don't want to please nobody. Nah, no, nobody wants those people. So for me, respect, you know, all day long.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think respect lasts longer as well than like as well, by the way.
Yeah. So, is a thing that kind of that can go over generations. Yeah. But nice one. That was good answer. Good answer.
Last one. So make a good one. Yeah, you know, see, I'm saying like last one for me, man. Because yeah, I still got a log on something else.
Yeah, it's fine. No, don't worry. Where does, and you can't say this in a biblical sense either, right?
Okay.
Where does good and evil come from?
I believe for every opposite there has to be an opposite of that, right? So not biblical sense, but if you have a good, then it's got to be bad. You can't be one or the other.
But where does it come from? Where is it manifested? Where are these things manifested?
Life, people, society, time, seasons, growth, maturity, all of it.
Experience.
All of it.
I say it's our experiences, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
If you have a good experience versus a bad experience.
Yeah, the word evil is found very, very dark, isn't it? But you know, yeah, it's the opposite of good, isn't it? You know what I mean, heaven and hell, opposite hell is opposite of heaven, right? I mean, black is opposite of white, right? Apparently. So everything comes from experiences. Experience is a good word. Experiences of life in general. I mean, some people may not experience any of that because someone dies young, but that'll be a horrible thing, isn't it? But yeah, just life in general. I think just the moment of life is like a sandwich, right? So the bottom layer is birth, right? The top layer is death, or vice versa, right? In the middle is life, right? And there are many different things you go through. Some will be great, some will be bad. You know what I mean? Some will be superb, some will be horrible. but we all have the connections in between, right? So, and that's the experience of life, you know. And sometimes people go through evil crap. Some people go through, hey, fantastic, great. You know what I mean? You know, not many people go through that because everyone goes through some horrible time for sure, but some more than others. But yeah, I think the answer to the question probably be like, without it being biblical, yeah, it's just life in general. I think it's just life in general, life experiences, maturity, age, wisdom, puberty, time, seasons, all of it. It's all of it. Man.
Relationships, good or bad.
All of it, bro. All of it.
All right. Okay. Good answer. All right. So listen, guys, that was the GM Life Coach podcast today. It was a big chit chat, and I loved it. Did you enjoy it?
It was good. It was good, man. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. All right, guys. Listen, make sure, like I said, you share, like, and subscribe. Make sure you write in the comments. Make sure you just just look out for other episodes. Got some real good stuff coming, so yeah, make sure you're on it. All right. Anyway, guys, take care. Say bye, Kof.
Good night, people. Peace.
All right, man. Take care. Peace out.
GM, the life coach.